Fancy intro music, yeah! Woo!
Hey everybody, welcome to patch 38 where we've got a lot. I mean, a whole lot coming through that I'm pretty excited about. We got a lot of great hints through the past few days. If y'all were able to come to the Twitch stream last night, myself and DJ were dropping hints and it was just a fantastic time. Now, everybody might not like this update, but everybody's going to love this update because it's freaking awesome. I'm not just saying that because I'm a pirate who loves raiding. I truly think this is going to help revitalize a lot of aspects of the game, particularly, and I talked about this with DJ last night, that I think it's going to re-energize the active portion of the game, not just the I've got to do it, not just the dailies, the events, but giving you a reason to go out and actually compete with other players. And there's going to be a lot of things that come in the near future that also are going to be encouraging this. So we have an active game instead of just a passive game where we do things here and there. So as we're going to do normally, we're going to go through every little bit here in this video. For the patch notes, we'll go over in detail a little bit on some things like the Amalgam, the ship, and we'll save that for another video tomorrow where we really break down the math, just because one, I'm getting it. I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know Rev Deuce is going to buy it. Yep, going to. Rip-a-doodle dandy. It's okay. It's all going to work out for good. So we're going to go through that process, and let's start with the patch notes where we got Lursa, Baitor, and Bael coming in. Love to see it. Introducing the fourth and final part duality. Remember, you are getting the event store this month. I've been telling y'all about that throughout the week, throughout the past few episodes. Getting the event store, so repair, whatever. Anyway, new ship, the Amalgam, which is a Packlet based ship. This is very important to note, everybody. Why is it important to note? There are other series that really use the Packlets as a primary villain. Pay attention. So anyway, Packlets coming into the game, now having their own ship set, and curious to see where this could lead. Maybe a little bit of lower decks love. If y'all haven't been paying attention to the new Star Trek, you really should. I think this thing could be part of something grander coming in the future. You can see all kinds of pieces mishmashed together. We can see an Armada. We can see a Centurion. There's a Bortus or a Katinga, impulse engine setting up top. There's a Burrell wing. There's nacelles. It's literally a kit bash, just like the Packlets would create. And while it is ugly, that's kind of the point. It looks like a really jacked up Nebulon B frigate from Star Wars. Anybody remember the Nebulon B frigate from Star Wars? Anyway, 20 new missions, 3 new officers, 6 new exocomps, including a couple that I think are stupid, but we'll talk about that. 2 new cloaking refits. Those are for the whales. That's the Sam Peck and the Sanctus are now getting cloaking. The event store, and 6 new avatars and frames. We'll talk about the Amalgam in a second. Now, you do have new officers, and I'll be honest, the ones I'm most excited about, and y'all can judge me if you wish, but I had crushes on these girls growing up. Say what you will about me. Maybe that's one of the reasons that I got into things like kink. But Lursa Baitor here. Oh God, this is a family show. We should calm down. Don't ask anything about what Rev just said. I think they're beautiful people. Anyway, Bael, Klingon Valors are rare, increasing weapons damage by X%. Now, y'all will probably end up asking what those percentages are. We're going to go over those individually when we do the videos for them. We will also go through the Amalgam kind of in detail today, but just due to the fact that time, we'll say specifics on all these, kind of moving to a different video. Just to give you a rough idea, though, in terms of the percentage, what you're getting is pretty low. As a captain's ability, I think it's 25% standard. So it's nothing insane, 25. And then you can get a 5% max synergy each side. So it'll be a 35% bonus with full synergy. So probably not something you'll get a super love on. However, the officer ability is going to be an armor increase. And that's kind of, pretty much similar to what we already have with the Martok Galron, and just working in that same angle. This is completing that set. So you're going to be able to max out at 1400%, which you would, like I said, you would kind of expect just based off what the other ones already would do. Then we get our queens, Baitor. Here we go. Behind the scenes, increasing cloaking duration. Once again, I'm not sure how big this is going to be for a lot of people. I'm going to try it out on my Burrell because story. But if you caught my hint yesterday in Generations, you know, in terms of being the Duras sisters being like these evil bad guys, because the Duras family in Klingon history basically has been horrible people for the past couple hundred years. The cloaking bonus, it all fits into the lore of the game and the lore of Star Trek, which I really appreciate. But when on the ship can increase cloaking duration by 20% naturally as captain, with 10% max energy on either side. And then the officer ability, when on the Amalgam, the new ship, we'll get this so you can see it just a little bit better. Baitor increases the Amalgam's loot bonus by an X%. This can be very important, even though that bonus might be small. It is 10% at rank 1 and 50% at rank 5. That could be pretty important. And DJ is working on a calculator. I don't know if he's released it yet or not, going through the Amalgam numbers, but we'll talk about the Amalgam in a little bit more detail towards the end, and then we'll have a whole Amalgam video. So stay tuned for that in the next couple days. All right, here we go to Lursa, who is an uncommon. I don't know why it's gray there. That would be green. Anyway, available as an uncommon officer. You're going to have adapt as necessary, reduce cloaking cooldown. Now, this could be probably more important than Baitors, because a 1 minute cooldown for a lot of these is really, really annoying. And it's one of those that, you know, are we going to use cloaking as much because of that? So this can reduce about 30% or 50% with full synergy, giving you a potential cloaking attack run with an officer that's going to decrease weapons damage, which that's what Lursa is going to do, which is a 25% reduction at tier 1, 70% at tier 5. That's pretty nice. I would say that the 70% reduction for this is a pretty nice little jump. So I think that overall, that is a nice little addition to the game. Are they amazing officers? No, but kind of the thing that the game is pushing is adding in more content and allowing you run more things at once. And if you can get an uncommon officer maxed, which that would be the goal here, a 70% reduction at a low level is huge, and even at a high level could be useful on like a 3rd or 4th PvP ship, maybe that cloak one we're running in territories, things like that. New Exocomp consumables, 1 set to increase rep and 1 set to decrease it. Now, the only example I can think of why I would want to decrease the rep gain is if I'm dual faction grinding and, you know, one's just faster than the other to try to keep it more balanced. The rep gain, though, is definitely something that I would use. And the 100% rep gain, wow, really going to speed up the rep grinding process and help some of y'all out there who are getting stuck on that 1500 limit. Here are the new cloaks for the whales, battle pass, event store, missions, and then a list of bug fixes, including a lot for the G5 ships with warp stuff. However, I don't think they fixed how things look, which is still kind of an issue to me, but who am I? I'm just a regular content creator. Why do I matter? Anyway, join the Discord if you haven't already. Let's talk about the Amalgam by actually going to our good friends over at Star Trek Fleet Command.space or STFC.space. If you type in Star Trek Fleet Command.space, it's not going to take you anywhere. So let's rotate on over here and take a look at the Amalgam itself. So the first thing you're going to note is at tier 1, level 1, very low percentage in terms of what it's doing. Now let's talk about this ability. After winning a battle, if the target has more resources than the Amalgam's available cargo space, the Amalgam fills its cargo space and then takes an additional percentage of the remaining resources. This ability only activates if the Amalgam has available empty cargo space before attacking. So you can't spam with it. Like if you fill up your cargo bay, you can't just go spam hit a base. But what it's going to do is you hit the base and you're going to get those resources in your base immediately. And the percentage is based off a very small amount, but here's why 0.1% matters. Here's why it matters. A lot of bases out there, including mine, are getting a little thick with their old resources there. So even if we were to say a tier 1 level 1, let's say brand new Amalgam out the gate, because if you get it to level 5, you're basically going to double what the beginning can do. Let's just say baby base, 1 billion resources, 1 billion total resources. 0.01% from a 1 billion resource base means that you're going to hit that base, take whatever it is your cargo is on the ship, fill it, and then get 10 million in resources immediately. So even at tier 1, level 1, depending on the base that you're hitting, you're now getting more cargo than you can do with any 3-star ship and even some of the 4-star ships. depending on the tier. But that's level 1, tier 1 on a 1 bill base. Now let's say that we've got a 10 bill base. What if we've got a 20 bill base? You know, if we had 0.02 on a 10 bill base or 100 billion base, we're taking 200 million a pop. You know, until you start, you know, rendering that down. If y'all remember, the largest raid to happen so far in Star Trek Fleet Command that I've posted about and that I'm aware of is about 550 billion in terms of a complete drain, a finished raid. That took weeks, 2 weeks to finish. This turns that job into hours, maybe a day, depending on how quickly and how many amalgams can get in there. And the great thing is because this starts as a level 31 ship, this is not just some toy for the whales to come hit your base and take all your loot. It's actually the opposite, that as the months progress and more people get the amalgam, you're going to actually be able to use this to attack back. And when whales fight each other and crack each other, because there are still whales and high level players and any player with a lot of resources sitting around, it's going to start getting drained very quickly. Now, the good thing is this works both ways. If you get drained, you can go out and take it back really quickly. And when I talk about revitalizing an active process in the game, this is what we're talking about. This is taking a mechanic of raiding that has kind of got put to the side because there's not as much that can be done as in times past. You know, DJ and I were talking about in our podcast last night, well, on the Twitch channel, might as well have been a podcast, that when we started the game, you had to raid. It was a necessity. And now it's kind of not. Now this will be a necessity again, and it will help increase your gameplay speed in terms of how fast you progress, because now you'll be able to get more dilithium, more titanium, upgrading ships, and doing research that could have been problematic before, now no longer. And I'm very excited about it. I really am. I think this is a fantastic addition, even if it is an ugly monstrosity, which is literally kind of the point. It's supposed to be kind of ugly, so it's not a big deal. I'm not mad at it being a little ugly. It's a Packlet ship. We find things. We look for things that make our ship go. Great episodes. Incredible writing. How can you beat that? I don't know if you can. Absolutely fantastic. I am really curious to see what everybody else thinks about this update, and that's the whole point of giving y'all this video, to get your thoughts, to get your opinions, to get your je ne sais quoi, that little bit of extra. I think it's gonna be good, y'all. You got to tell me what you think, though, in the comment section below. And if you like this video, as always, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I don't know why you wouldn't, but sometimes people don't, and if you don't know how, that's what it looks like. Little thumb, subscribe. We will have a more detailed video about the math of the amalgam and examples of it rating here very soon, as well as the new officers, Lursa Bator and Vael. And live long and prosper. Stay safe with the Space Cowboys. We'll catch you on the next video. Deuces. That's me. We outie. Patch 38's here.